Hello and welcome to a very special international PumpHouse Theatre virtual creative talk. My guest today hails from Hamilton, the mighty Tron, but is currently living in London, where she gained her Masters in Acting at Mountview Academy. To help keep her in supplies of her favourite Whittaker's dark chocolate, she's working at the Angel Comedy Club as a comedy booker, a venue that's hosted the likes of Rose Matafeo, James Acaster and Jared Christmas. A regular performer since before she was born, she has experience as and a realistic view of what it means to be a working actor. I'm very pleased to welcome, live from London, Aimee Olivia.
Kia ora!
Kia ora. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm very good, thank you. It's been really sunny today, but yeah, really good.
Great. So,
Yeah.
Aimee, tell us, how did you get involved in the performing arts?
Well, I have to kind of thank my mum really for that, because she was a costume maker and a makeup artist for community theatre in Hamilton, and she also did some like amateur productions, and I desperately wanted to be on stage. She, just to quickly say, like, she did this play about some flowers. I don't remember, I was about 4, and they were rehearsing in our lounge, and I jumped around the room demanding to be the bumblebee, because I was like, you can't have flowers without bees. So I think I had the bug right from when I was little.
So I believe you said you were involved with theatre from before you were born. Can you tell us?
Yeah. So my mum was a hot box dancer in Guys and Dolls, and she found out she was 6 weeks pregnant with me. So I have been on stage since I was a fetus, and I love telling that story. It's my
favorite. Oh, that's cool. So you've been involved in theatre for a very short time, really, then?
Just a short time.
So you're now over in London, and you've just done your Masters in acting, so it's a very serious thing. So what took you there? What took you to pursue a Masters in acting?
Well, I was living back in Auckland at the time, and a lot of people were going over to LA, and I didn't really have any aspirations to go there. And I'm lucky enough to be a dual citizen with the UK. And my good friend Catherine, and I'd always kind of talked about drama school and gaining more skills and going to London. And she was just like, Aimee, give it a go. So I just kind of did it as a bucket list kind of thing on a whim, and I applied to like 3 drama schools, not expecting to get in. And then I just got in, and I sent self-tapes. I didn't go over an audition, I just sent self-tapes, and they offered me a place at Mountview, and then I was like, okay, so I'm going. And I had 2 months to pack up my life, and a lot of people supported me through a boosted campaign to go over. And and I went and had an amazing 10 months of my life. It was really, really hard. One of the hardest things I think I've ever done. But it was, just such a magical experience, and I'm really glad that I did it.
So what is a Masters in acting?
So a Masters is designed for people who want to... some people have gone through university and they want to start an acting career, and then there are people like me who want to gain more training and who are a bit older and have more experience. Because I didn't have a BA, I only had a diploma, but luckily I had a lot of skill set from New Zealand. But it's just more gaining more in your craft, being able to work in London, to have a prestigious drama school behind you. So that makes it a little bit easier to get into the audition room, and also to walk into that audition room with the confidence of like, I went to Mountview, so I'm here and I'm ready to perform. So it just makes you a bit more of a professional, I think, and just gain more skills and meet new people and have contacts.
So is it mostly theatre skills that you do, or do you do any writing, or what's the course made up of?
So the course is made up of lots of things. Most of the time you're doing voice, so you do a lot of breathing. So you do a lot of breathing. And then we did do film as well. So we had film classes, we did acting classes, theatre classes. You do about 6-week block. Then you'd get a professional director come in and you'd work for 4 weeks on a play. The public didn't see this play, and you got marked. And then we also had a master's part of it, which meant that we had to write our own 45-minute play. So if you think about Auckland Fringe,
yeah,
and you putting on your own play, and it had to be a subject, and then once you performed it, and we performed it about this, it's actually been a year that I performed mine, and we did it like a little festival, musical theatre and the actors, and it was 2.5 weeks, 5 plays a day that we had to go and watch as well and support our peers. And we got marked on that, and then we had to write a 6,000-word dissertation on our project.
Wow.
And why we did it. So some people did like lectures, but most people wrote their own like show.
Yeah. So
that's what you had to do as well. And and then we got to do public production at the end, which was really cool.
So contrary to what a lot of people might think, it is hard to be an actor.
Yeah, and like we were there from, I was probably there from 8 a.m, but you started around 9, 10 in the morning, and especially in term 2, we were there at 10 o'clock at night, because not only were we doing our master's projects of writing them, we're also doing contemporary play with the directors on the MA directing course, and we were doing classes at the same time. So it was really intense, and so there was no rest. We got no holidays.
I can see from your face it was a very positive experience for you.
Yeah, they worked you hard. There was a lot of tears, I'm not going to lie. There were a lot of tears. I was one of the criers, but I'm proud. Emotions are good when you're an actor. But it was a lot of hard work, and I think a lot of us appreciated it, because there was a lot of people over the age of 25 that were, really invested, and they made you work hard. Constantly told us this is not an easy course, and Mountviews is probably the hardest out of all the MAs that you can do.
So you've been there for nearly 2 years, 18 months, something like that?
Yeah, about 18 months now, yeah.
And how are you finding the pace of life of London compared to Auckland?
Life here is really fast. London is a busy, busy city. Like nearly 9 million people live here, so it's double our population.
Yeah.
But there's so much going on. Like just so much creative work being created by people, whether it's the West End that most people know about, or it's fringe theatre, profit share theatre, off-Broadway theatre, and people making their own films, television series. There's just so much. So it's so much. It's on such a larger scale than what Auckland has, So, but there's just so much work out there, which is amazing. So it's really cool.
Cool. So you've been an actor all this time. What's your favourite show that you've been in?
Ooh, well, can I take 2?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, the one for New Zealand and one for the UK, I think is fair. So I think my UK one would have to be Queen Margaret, with a wonderful director called Jane Moriarty. It was our public production. It was such an amazing experience. Like that play was, and we were the first year in the new building and in that theatre, and it was just phenomenal. I was with an amazing cast of females and one man, and it was just such a cool experience. And then I think my favourite production in New Zealand definitely would have to be Pride and Prejudice, which was at the PumpHouse. So I'm not being biased, but it was just an amazing experience to play Elizabeth Bennet and to meet the likes of Terry Hooper and Meg Andrews, work with Joss Christensen, who's my all-time best friend, and then Matthew Deach, and Meg's my best friend too, she'll kill me. And just such amazing people. Denise Snowd, who is a phenomenal actress, and just to have her as my mother was just such a gift. So it was really cool.
I saw that production and it was fantastic. I actually saw your live action version at Harwich Village. How did you find performing outdoors? Was that a challenge?
It was a challenge because we didn't know how it was going to go at all. We didn't expect an audience, to be fair. We thought people probably aren't going to come. It was such a risk, and because you can't guarantee how people are going to react and what people are going to do. Like when you're in a theatre, people are separate from you. There is a fourth wall, but there's no fourth wall. They're right there, and as you experienced, it was really hot.
Yeah.
And there was about 100 people, about 120 I think the day that you came, and it was just crazy. And we wish we'd had more shows there, because it was really cool to be able to take people to places, and I think it just made it more real and made it more Regency, even though the Howick Historical Village is the 1800 Victorian period. It still really was like, it was just so magical. Like
it was a very
really
magical experience. And as you say, it was a really hot day, and I ended up with panda eyes, but it was well worth it. It. And it was just so clever to be immersed in the theatre like that. It was lovely. I'd say that would be one of my theatre memories, if anybody asked me.
Yeah, same with mine, actually. I really loved it. I think that's what made it for me, was that doing it at Howick. Yeah.
And as you said, you brought it along to the PumpHouse Theatre. So you performed at the PumpHouse. So do you have a favourite PumpHouse memory?
Performing that is probably my favourite memory, actually, because I think going from outside and then having to transform it onto the stage, and Terry likes to work with minimalist staging and allows the audience to create the imagery themselves. So that was such a great challenge as an actor, to go from the world that was provided to us by Howick, just having all the houses there, to then having to create that same world but on stage. Was just such a great gift, and it was a beautiful experience there. And that was my first time performing at the PumpHouse, so I think you'll always remember your first time in the theatre. And it is a beautiful space. I'm not just saying that, like, there is something quite amazing, and it would have been cool to have done it outside as well. It would have been really cool. We did want to try and do that one time, but it just never happened. But and it started the acting collective, so
maybe when you come back, you can have another go and do it outside.
I think I'm getting too old to play.
No. We do have performance spaces outside as well, apart from the amphitheatre. We've now got extra space to perform. So that's a great something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So when you're not acting and doing all your marvelous performances, what do you do to relax? What's an Aimee relax activity?
I think going for a coffee I drink tea, so going for a cup of tea with friends is probably my favorite thing to do, and relax and just catch up and have a good chat, or watching something really good on Netflix, or watching a really good series. And at the moment, watching the wonderful Thanks to the National Theatre, all their great plays. That's a good way to relax, or a good book. Yeah. I'm quite boring, and I think most actors are. Like, I think people think we live these crazy lives, but really, we're actually quite boring.
So
as creators, we don't really do anything.
I like to delve deep in these talks and find out things.
Yeah.
Is there anything about Aimee that you'd like to share with us that not many people know about?
I think a lot of people think I'm quite extroverted, but really I'm really introverted. Like, I quite like my own company, and I like to kind of get away from people. I love nature, and I quite like I lived in the North Shore in Beach Haven, and there's that beautiful park. I can't think of the name right now, but it's not far from on Beach Haven Road. And it's so beautiful to just walk around that by yourself. And I'm quite a loner, really. And not a lot of people would know that about me, because they think I'm quite extroverted, because I just know how to survive in the world, I think. Yeah.
So the lockdown in London is a little different to the lockdown that we've been experiencing here in New Zealand. But how have you been coping with it in a creative way? How have you managed to keep yourself creative?
Well, I'm lucky because me and my friend Steve, who was at Mountview with me, we're writing our own TV series that we would love to hopefully one day have something come from it, but at the moment it's just writing to keep us going. And then I'm also joined a play reading group, so we're reading plays. We just read Constellations. And then I joined this online drama club where we do a monologue once a month, and then you send it in and they give you feedback. And I'm also we learned a lot, and I learned really quickly at Mountview. And I also did some training with a great acting coach in Vancouver when I lived there on Uta Hagen, and I'm a big Uta Hagen Howard Fine fan. Howard Fine's been to New Zealand, and he's a great acting coach, and I'm kind of just bringing all the tools that I learned from Mountview and all that together as well to go, okay, what is my own tool belt that I can create? So I'm piecing that together. So I'm just taking advantage of time, because I think as creatives, especially when you live in London, you have to work 40 hours a week just to survive here because it's expensive. So right now I'm kind of taking advantage of all this time I have to be a creative and put the right energy into the right places. So that's what I'm doing.
So do you have any advice for fellow creatives to cope with time in lockdown?
I think, like what I was saying, I think to be creative. I mean, I know it's easy just to sit and watch Netflix, or Amazon Prime, which is good to do because it's good to watch what's out there. But I think even just writing 20 minutes a day, even if it's crap, like just write. Like you can edit. That's the joy of your own writing. And try and find a play reading group. There's heaps going around. If you've got a group of friends, even if it's just the 3 of you or 2 of you to read a play together, do a monologue challenge. I know that Stage Milk is, you can join that. There's also like Twitter's got like groups of setting up monologues, practice scenes, like just don't allow this time because we're used to the unknown. So I think we can probably handle the unknown more so than what other people can. So don't allow it to take you down a path that you don't need to go down, because the opportunity is to create. So take advantage of it. I think this is the best advice I can give, is just write a list each day and tick off, and that's success, because the success is a day, not the top of the mountain.
Very sound advice. Take one day at a time. Great stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Aimee, for talking to us today. We hope
pleasure.
we'll be seeing you back performing on our shores in the not too distant future. But we wish you
I'm always a Kiwi.
we wish you the best of luck with your endeavours in London. And if you do manage to get onto the West End stage, do mention the PumpHouse in your programme notes.
I definitely will, don't you worry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you. Kia kaha.
Thank you.